Hello, everyone, and welcome to the start of our class. You are entering College and Life Strategies. My name is Claudine Kroom, and I'm going to be your professor for this 8 weeks course. This video that we're going to be doing is going to be an intro to the class, and it's going to roughly go over some of the week 1 items that you need to complete in order to not only get your attendance in, so that way you do not get automatically withdrawn from the class, because by Friday of this week in week 1, if you have not participated, which means if you have not done one of the assignments and turned them in, if you haven't done one of the discussion questions and turned them in, you have to actively do something in the course within week 1. Otherwise, I am required by the university to automatically withdraw anyone that has not actively participated. So before we get started, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about myself, because I'm usually terrible about doing that, just so you can kind of get to know me a little bit better. I have been teaching at Rose State College for almost 5 years now, and I have been teaching this course for the same amount of time. I started teaching this course when it was still with the Social Sciences Department, and that was back in January of 2016. So I started teaching this class actually in the classroom face-to-face with students. And then after a couple of years, my husband came back stateside and he got a job on the East Coast. And so I actually live in Virginia. I do not live in Oklahoma anymore, but I still teach for the university because I was willing to teach this class online, which I've actually been doing for about 3 years now. So I've solely been teaching this class online for about 3 years. I have quite a bit of experience as far as online education. I received 2 of my degrees as an online student myself. So I do understand the online atmosphere as a student, but I also understand it very well as a teacher. And I'm always trying to improve, because I know that there are always ways that students bring information to me that makes it more helpful for me to try to make the online classroom more interactive and useful for students. It's never going to be perfect for everyone. There's always going to be some drawbacks for certain people, but I do find it useful whenever we get our course evaluations and students give some information about what worked well for them, what kind of things didn't work well. And I'm always constantly trying to make this class a little bit better and more interactive. I started doing these lecture videos because even though we're in an online classroom, I still like for people to be able to see my face, hear my voice, almost like you're sitting in a lecture if you're sitting in the classroom. And then we actually do an assignment next week where you're going to be doing a group presentation where you're actually going to get together and actually meet some of your fellow classmates, and you're going to have to do a video together, and you're going to submit that as your assignment, where you're actually going to have to get on like a Zoom call with some of the other classmates that are placed in your group. And you're actually going to have some, I would call it face-to-face interaction, but you're actually going to get to speak to and collaborate with some of your fellow classmates for this project that you're going to do next week. So I'm trying to do things like that. So some parts of the class, even though it's online, it's still kind of like a live experience, just like if you were sitting in a classroom. So as far as me, a little bit about myself, I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. I went back to school because I wanted to be an educator since the time that I graduated from high school and I started my bachelor's degree. I got interested in all kinds of things when I started college, and I couldn't make up my mind. And then finally, after about 2 years of college and completing all of my general education classes, I really got interested in the field of psychology. And so I completed my degree in psychology, still with the intention of being an educator, but I liked that aspect of kind of knowing more information about how the mind works, how the brain works, behaviors, things like that. I found it really interesting, and I have found it useful in the education field because it does kind of help you understand people a little bit better. Wouldn't call myself an expert, but it does give you a little bit of insight into how people think, how people react, how they feel. And it does, I think, for me personally, it gives me a little bit more, I just feel like I can connect with people better because I try to be more understanding of different situations, different ways that people were brought up, all sorts of different things that people bring to the classroom. And it's that whole mix of diversity that I like, that I had that background in psychology. I think it's helpful for me as an educator. So I decided I was going to go back to school and I was going to earn my master's degree. So I earned my master's degree online with University of Phoenix. And the reason I did that was because I was married to someone that was in the Air Force and we were moving around a lot. So I found it beneficial for me to do online classes because I knew that we were going to be moving constantly. And we did. We probably moved every year. So it was useful for me at that time to do online classes. And it was hard. It was very different. I wasn't used to it. I had never done it before. And I found that particular, at that time, online classes they weren't very interactive. It was mostly just doing a lot of reading and then writing a lot of papers. And I feel comfortable writing papers, but it does get monotonous after a while when that's what you're basically doing constantly. And I did that for about 3 years. It took me to finish my master's degree since we were moving a lot. And then eventually, a couple of years after I finished my master's degree, I decided I wanted to go a little bit further. And I started working on a doctorate program, but I instead decided to just do a postgraduate degree, which basically was all of my doctorate courses, but I just did not complete my dissertation, but I still earned a postgraduate degree in educational leadership. So I do have my master's is in elementary education because I was originally going to try to teach at the elementary level. And then I decided to go back and get some more education as far as leadership because I felt that if I did go into education, there could be the potential that someday I may want to go further where I'd want to maybe be a principal or I would maybe want to work as a superintendent, who knows? And I wanted to give myself that opportunity to learn that side of education and not just teaching in the classroom, but also the administration aspect. So I went back to school for that. So that's a little bit about my background. And as I said, I live in Virginia. We live pretty close to Richmond, Virginia. So we're kind of close to the city and we're also kind of close to the beaches here, but we don't really get to go there very often. I have 2 young sons. I have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. And then we have 2 dogs and we have a cat. So we have quite a busy household. And if you do ever in my lecture videos hear random noises of children and things, that's probably because my kids are running around going crazy. So, or the dogs. But anyway, that's just a little bit about myself. I'm not going to go too much into that. I don't want to make this video too long, but that's a little bit about me. So you kind of get to know me a little bit better. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to kind of go through our classroom the way that it's set up, just so that way you can see how I set things up so you know where to find things. And then I'm going to kind of touch on some of the different tabs that you can click on that are going to be available to you as a student so you know where to find things like when you want to check your grades or if you want to refer to something in the syllabus. And there's not a whole lot of tabs that you're going to have available to you. And I do that to make it simple so you just don't have a bunch of things to click on that you don't necessarily need to click on. And what I do instead of putting tons of stuff here, because as you can see, all of these ones that have these blocked symbols on them, you're not actually going to see them on your student view. The only ones that you're going to see over here are the announcements, grades, the syllabus, course evaluations, and then tutor.com. That's all you're going to see on your view. We're in my view just because it's a little more thorough as I'm going through it, but in your view, these are the only tabs that you're going to be seeing over here. You're always going to open up our classroom when you click on it from the Canvas dashboard. When you click on our classroom, you're always going to see the announcements. There's usually going to be up to 3 announcements that you'll be able to see, and Canvas should notify you if I ever put an announcement out, so that way you know that there's something that I'm trying to get out there to the whole entire class. So you'll always see the announcements at the top, and then what you're going to see down here is going to be modules. So some of you that have already done some Canvas courses, you're going to be kind of familiar with this. Some other professors might set it up a little bit differently, but I'm just going to show you how I have it set up so you kind of know where to find things. And basically my modules, or what they're going to be, are going to be weekly folders. So every week, a new folder is going to open up on Monday at midnight. And when that folder opens up, it's going to show you all of the reading that we have for the week, and then it's going to show you all the assignments that are due for the week. And at the top of every single one of these weekly modules, I'll put the date. It'll say week 1, for example, for this week, and then it'll give you the date that we basically start the class when it opens up, and this will be the date that everything is going to be due that's within this folder. So this first folder that you all have seen, and you see it because you've clicked on this video and you're watching this intro video, this is going to have not only this video, but there is also a 4-minute tutorial video that I did that explains the ways that you would be uploading or entering your assignments into the class. So if you haven't taken a Canvas course or you don't have experience with this, you may want to watch this just so you understand what you need to click on when you're trying to submit something in the assignment folders. So refer to that later after you finish this video if you haven't actually done a Canvas class yet, because that might be helpful for you. And then we're just going to kind of dive into the week 1 folder just so you can kind of see what it looks like. I do apologize. I know it looks like a lot, but our weekly folders are going to have your reading. It's going to have some of the videos that go along with the different topics that we're doing, because we are using something called Road Trip Nation that gives an example of a set of students that are basically trying to figure out what they want to do, how they want to go about getting to their goals. And they're kind of going on this journey where they're interviewing a bunch of different people that are in different fields, and they're trying to get information about how these people got to where they were. What was it that they had to do? What kind of goals did they have to set for themselves? And so we use these videos from Road Trip Nation to accent all of the reading and things that we have for this class. And I do want to note that the readings are not very, very long, and I break them up by the assignment. So you're not just doing a whole long reading. You're basically going to click on a reading, and then usually there's an assignment that follows up to that reading. When you start in the weekly folders, if you basically start at the top and work your way down, it's going to make more sense. If you skip around to different things, the assignments are not going to make sense because you may not have done the reading that goes with that. So just always, every single week, start at the top, do the reading, and you'll always see that the reading are usually going to be the ones that are sticking out all the way over here to the left. So this one's a reading, that one's a reading, and so forth. And then usually you'll see an activity that goes along with it. It's indented, and you're going to see an activity that's going to go along with the reading that comes from that. So you'll always want to do the reading first, because a lot of times the assignments are going to ask you for specific information that was in the reading that you need to mention and incorporate into your answers. So if you're missing that kind of information, or you're just trying to wing it and you're just trying to quickly do an assignment and you didn't do any of the reading, I'm going to be able to tell that you don't really have the information that I'm looking for, and that's how you potentially could be losing points on assignments. And so as we go through, you're going to have an activity letter to myself. Anytime you click on one of these activities, there's always going to be a box that has an explanation of what it is that you need to do. Please read the directions thoroughly before you start an activity, because a lot of times people miss points because they're not reading through the directions thoroughly and they're just kind of winging it. And so they're putting an answer down, and they may be only partially answering something that has, a question or something that's in the activity, but they're not really thoroughly answering it and following along with the directions. And so that's how people usually lose points on activities in my class. And as you're moving down, we have a reading on preparations. This is kind of all intro stuff to get you into the mode of what it is that we're talking about, because of course this class is about college success. It's about discussing different topics, different things that you're going to dive into about yourself, about your goals, about where it is that you're trying to go. Even if you haven't declared a major, there's still a lot of pertinent information in this class that could potentially help you get to that point where you can at least set goals for yourself. And it may even help you try to figure out what it is that you do want to do, even if you don't know for sure right now. A lot of you already have chosen your major. You know exactly what you want to do, and it's still helpful for you as well, because there's still a lot of information that's going to help you build your way to where you can ensure that you're going to be successful, that you're going to understand how to manage your time better, that you're going to understand how to set goals for yourself, how to reach those goals, how, you can make sense of all of this information we give you, and how you can use the things that are useful to you and use that in future semesters that you have. And that's the whole point of this class. So you read through preparations. You're going to have a using Canvas reading topic here. And then this is a discussion post. It's called Questions on How to Use Canvas. And this is for any folks that maybe have not used Canvas yet. This might be your first online class that you're taking, or at least the first online class that you're taking in Canvas. And so here is a discussion post that if you have any questions as you're, kind of starting to work through things and you're not sure how to do something or where to find something, the question, I can answer the question because it's a discussion post that everybody in the class is going to be able to see. I can answer the question, or potentially another student that maybe has taken the Canvas course and knows what it is that you're asking, they could also respond to that as well. So I have set it to notify me if someone puts something into this folder. So if you do have any questions and maybe, you just want to throw it out there for anyone to be able to help you with it or answer it, you can go ahead and put that on a discussion post there. So what I'm going to do real quick, I am going to click on a couple of these assignments so you can see the different ways that they might be turned in. So for example, this activity letter to myself. So when I click on this, it is going to show you the directions here. And you're going to see that the way that you can submit it is through a text entry box or as a file upload. And the only file types that I'm going to accept for this assignment is a Microsoft Word document or a Microsoft Word document X if you have that version of it. So if you don't have Microsoft Word, that's okay. You can do it by text entry box. And that video that I was just telling you about just a little bit ago, the 4-minute video, it will show you how to use the text entry box if you don't know how to do that. And it basically, if you choose text entry, it's going to open up a box that you can type into, just like if you were typing into a Microsoft Word document, but you're just doing it directly in Canvas rather than doing it on a separate document. Some people prefer to use Microsoft Word, and that's okay. You can go ahead and do the assignment on the Microsoft Word document, and then you'll just upload it as an attachment. And that's perfectly fine as well. So those are two ways that you might have to turn something in some of the other activities throughout the course. And then as we go back, one of the other really common ways that you are going to see an assignment that's posted to you is going to be as a discussion post. And so a discussion post is something that as you post your response to whatever prompt it is that I give you, it's going to be something that the whole entire class is going to be able to read because it's a discussion. It's something that other people can see. Sometimes on some assignments, I will ask you to reply to other students in the class, but most of the discussion posts I don't. But there are going to be a few that I'm going to ask you to reply to another student in order to earn all your points. So for example, as you're doing your reading, and maybe if you have some questions on Canvas, you can post it there. There's another assignment here called email the professor from your Rater email. Now, if you've ever set up your Rater email, you can go into whatever internet program you use to, get into Rater email, but you can also come over here to the inbox and you can email me that way because this ties into your Rater email. So if you've never set up your Rater email before, it's okay. You can still use the inbox within Canvas, and then you can go up to writing a new message and then you can send it to me. So that is another way you can use it if you don't want to have to set up your Rater email on another server or another internet provider or anything like that, or on your phone. If you don't want to do that, then you can just come over here to the inbox. So there is an assignment there where you need to email me because I communicate with you all through email. I do not have office hours because I don't live in Oklahoma anymore, obviously. So the way that you're going to get a hold of me is through email. I am very good about replying to emails pretty quickly, usually within an hour. And I have my email set up on my phone, so it notifies me if a student emails me. So if you do ever have questions and you're not sure how to do something or you're not sure where to find something, please email me because I should be able to get back to you very quickly. So just click on that, read the directions. It'll tell you what you need to do. And then we have a section on campus resources, which is good information for you all because a lot of times in this class, when I do this assignment, since I've been teaching this class for the last 5 years, a lot of times when we do this assignment, a lot of students didn't even know the campus resources that we have available that are free to you. And a lot of them are something that can help you be successful. They can help you get things that you need that you maybe didn't even know were available to you. So when you do this reading and you complete this discussion and reflection, I'm going to click on this so you can see an example of what a discussion post looks like. So this particular assignment is a discussion post. You need to read through the directions. It's telling you to choose one of these 3 topics that you want to discuss and reflect on. So you'll pick 1, 2, or 3, whichever one you want to reflect on. And then when you're doing a discussion post, you're going to see something that says reply. That's what you're going to click on. So you're replying to my discussion prompt. And then you're going to type in your answer. Please pay attention when I say something like you need to write 3 to 5 complete sentences, or if I'm asking you for a certain number of words, whatnot, because that's a way that you may lose points if you don't if you just type in one line and that's all you do, you're going to miss points on this assignment, or other ones where I'm being specific as to what I'm asking for. So just pay attention to those kind of things and directions when you see them. But this is an example. So when you click on reply and then you type in your answer, you'll have a submit button. And then what you're going to see, you're not going to see it here because nobody's replied to anything yet, but below my discussion prompt, you're going to see your answer pop up. And then after you see your answer pop up, you're going to likely see a lot of the other answers that some of the other people in the class have also posted. So that's how the discussion posts are going to look. They're going to be a little bit different from the assignments, as they are going to be something that everyone in the class can see, where the assignment tabs, where you're uploading a text entry box or you're uploading a Microsoft Word document, only I'm going to be able to see those ones. So let's go back to our week 1 folder. It's going to be a lot. I know that this is overwhelming probably. There's a lot of information, but like I said, always just start at the top, do the reading, complete the exercise that goes right after the reading, and then just keep moving on down the line like that. And it'll be easier for you. It'll make more sense. And all of the topics sort of build on each other. So it's best to always start at the beginning and work your way down. So after you do this discussion and reflection, we have another activity about using campus resources, and this is going to be one that's going to be a text entry box, or you're going to upload a Microsoft Word document. And then we have another reading on One Step Closer, and you're going to see another discussion and reflection, and that will be just like the discussion that I just went over. You just need to follow the directions, click on reply, and then you're going to type in your answer and submit it. And then this activity here, the mind map preparation, I'm going to briefly go over this just because I want you all to kind of see this one. This is one activity that you're going to be giving me something for this assignment, but you need to hold on to it because in week 7, you're going to be completing the rest of this assignment. So what you need to do basically is you need to obtain a copy of your degree sheet from either your academic advisor, or you can go on the Rose State College website. You can go under whatever department your major is housed under, and you'll be able to see that there will be a section with degree sheets. There'll be blank degree sheets, and you can actually click on them, and they should be PDF documents where you can basically download it to your computer, phone, whatever it is that you're using. And then you're going to upload that blank degree sheet to this assignment. And there's an example of a degree sheet right here that you can click on. So if you're not sure what they look like, you can click on this one, and that way you'll be able to see what it is that you're looking for, so you know for sure that you're getting the right thing and submitting it. You do not need to fill out the degree sheet. You're just submitting your blank degree sheet because that's just telling me that you're ready to do that assignment in week 7 because you have your degree sheet and you'll be able to fill it out and get it ready for week 7. So all you're doing is uploading the blank degree sheet. You're not filling anything out on it. This right here, you're basically doing number 1 for this assignment. I put number 2 and number 3 here so you know that in week 7, this is what you're going to be doing to complete your degree sheet to submit in week 7, but you do not need to do this part right now. It's just to kind of prepare you ahead of time for what it is you're going to be doing with these degree sheets. And so for that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to our folder, to our week 1 folder. But that's basically what you need to know for that particular assignment. Okay, moving on. So one thing that I started this semester that I haven't done before is I'm going to be doing every single week, it's going to be a bonus point assignment that is a health and wellness assignment. My 16-week classes that are going right now, they've already been doing this for about 8 weeks. And in general, I have anywhere from 5 to 6 students that are completing it. Not everyone wants to do it, and it's completely voluntary. You don't have to do it, but it is a good way each week to earn a couple of bonus points. And by the end of the semester, you have the potential to earn up to 16 bonus points. So if you miss a couple of assignments, or if you don't do as well on your paper or something like that, you might have some bonus points available to you to kind of boost your grade to help you out if something like that occurs. So I do recommend that you try to do this if you want to, because it is potential for you to have some extra bonus points available to you in case you need it towards the end of the semester. If you're missing some points or your grade's not quite what you want it to be, this might be able to help you out. So when you click on it, I'm just going to go over a couple of points because it was hard for some of my students to kind of figure out what it is that they were supposed to be doing. So only one time during the week, whenever I post this folder for the bonus points assignment, If you already go to the gym or you already go do walks every day or whatever the case may be, some kind of workout, whether it's walking, going to the actual gym and using like a treadmill, an elliptical, a stair stepper, lifting weights, whatever the case may be, if you have an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, even on your phone, an app that can track your workout, anything like that, if you have the ability to do that, one time a week, I just ask that you record your workout. And if you do a 30-minute workout, whether it be just a walk, a run, a swim, if your device can track your swimming, lifting weights, any of that kind of thing, but you're actually tracking it where it's actually recording your workout, you can actually take a screenshot of basically the summary page after you've completed your workout and you click done, and then you get kind of like a readout. If you can take a screenshot of your summary page, you can upload that screenshot for 2 bonus points each week. And this is also intended for those of you that maybe aren't really in an exercise routine, but you might want to participate in this to kind of get yourself into one just for your own health and wellness, but also to earn some bonus points. So it's something all around, because our health and our wellness is a big factor in our ability to be successful in college, in life. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean just from exercise. It could be from eating better, all sorts of things. But it's just a way for me to try to incorporate that, incentive that if you do want to, record one of your workouts, even if it's just a walk or something like that, and you're taking your dog for a walk, you don't have to be a professional exercise person to be able to do this. It's as simple as, just going out and taking a 30-minute walk and recording that walk. And the important thing that you need to do if you get a summary page, what I need to see so you can earn the bonus points is I need to actually be able to see some sort of description saying the workout, whether it was a walk, a swim, whatever. It should say, most of these apps will have a summary page that will say what the workout was and how many minutes long that workout was. So I need to be able to see that, and I need to be able to see a date on that actual summary. And a lot of times these different apps, they have several different pages that you can click on. You're going to have to go through it depending on which one you're using. You're going to have to go through it, and you're going to have to click on whatever area is going to show me the date that you did your workout, what the workout was basically, and how long that workout lasted, because it has to be at least 30 minutes if you want to get the bonus points. Some people have been confused in my 16 weeks class because they've been sending me screenshots of their steps. I don't want steps. I want basically some sort of summary that's showing me what your workout was and how many minutes long it was, and then the date. So that way I can verify that you did the workout within the week that weekly folder is in. There's a lot of apps available. If you don't already have one and you're not sure if you can record that, there's a lot of apps available that are free. They're easy to use. If you carry your phone with you when you go do the walk or you go do the exercise workout, whatever it is, it can still track your workout for you and give you that kind of a summary page. You don't have to have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. So just be aware of that. If you still want to do this, but you don't have a device like that, you can still find an app that would be able to track your walk, because a lot of them use GPS. So if you take your phone with you on your walk and you record it, it'll actually track it all for you, and you'll still get a summary page. So just be aware that you can still participate even if you don't have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or some other, wearable device. So that is this assignment. Just read through all of this so you kind of understand. You will see on these bonus points assignment that it'll say 0 points on there. I do that on purpose, because then if I deem that you have earned the bonus points, I'm going to put the points in the assignment folder for you, and it'll show up as bonus points by setting this to 0. So just be aware of that if that looks kind of weird to you. Okay. So that's kind of roughly going over everything that's in the week 1 folder, just so you know, like where the readings are, the assignments, what kind of assignments we turn in, and how they get turned in. And it'll make more sense as you start working on them and you kind of see for yourself as you're turning things in. And as I said, you're only going to be able to see these first 5 tabs in your view of Canvas in our classroom. You can check your grades here. Whenever I do start grading assignments and uploading those grades, you'll be able to always go here and check your grades, see where you're at, your percentage, and everything like that. Just be aware that usually, especially now that I'm taking on a 3rd class for the semester, it can take up to a full week after the due date for me to get everything graded for all of my students and get everything submitted. So please don't email me if it's been a couple of days after you've submitted your assignment. After the due date, so for example, week 1, everything in week 1 is going to be due by the 18th at 11:59 p.m. Please do not email me until 1 week after the 18th if you still haven't seen something be graded, because it may take me that long. That is kind of that buffer week that as I'm grading things, it may take up to that full week for me to get everything graded. It doesn't always, sometimes it's quicker than that, but please give me that full week before you start sending emails asking, where's my grade on this? Because that's kind of a standard, a 1 week turnaround for grades to get posted. This is your syllabus tab, so you do need to read through the syllabus. I do believe that I forgot to put the syllabus assignment on here. There is a syllabus assignment. You will see it whenever you log in on your view at the beginning of this class. Sorry about that. It's a very easy assignment. It's just you posting some answers about the syllabus. So you do need to read through the syllabus, and then you will find your answers for that assignment. It's very simple. Sorry about that. That's going to add one more thing to this folder that already looks insane. I do apologize. The assignments aren't terribly hard though, so try not to panic and get too scared about this class. You do have to understand you took an 8 weeks class, so it's going to be everything that the 16 weeks class has to take, but it's all basically condensed into 8 weeks. So I try to spread it out as much as I can, but you are basically still having to do just about the same amount of work as my 16 weeks classes are having to do, but it's all compressed into an 8-week class, which is probably typical for a lot of the 8 weeks classes. So it is going to look like a lot, but most of these assignments and everything are not super terribly hard as long as you do the reading and you know what it is that you're trying to answer. They should be fine and not too bad. And then usually towards the end of the course, whenever it's getting close to finals, you're going to see that you're going to start getting notifications from the university to do course evaluations. I usually offer a bonus points assignment that if you complete the course evaluation for my class, and then you basically post your summary page from that on the bonus point assignment folder that I open for you, you could potentially get bonus points for that, because we always try to get students to give us feedback on this course, not even just my teaching style or my course, but the course itself in general, like what the topics are, what kind of things you worked on. We're always looking for good feedback from students, so that way we can try to make the experience better and better, going forward into further semesters. And then one other thing I'm going to mention is tutor.com. You as Rose State College students do have a certain amount of free tutoring available to you, especially now that most of us are all doing online classes. And if you click on tutor.com, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe every student has up to 10 hours per week for free that you can get tutoring help if you need it. It can be for math, it can be for science, it can be for many of your other topics. I do believe they even have people there that can help if you're trying to write a paper and you want to submit what you've written so far to get either pointers, proofreading tips, things like that. They have a lot of different subjects and topics available that you could get help with. So please use that if you need to for any of your classes, or even when it comes time to do the final paper for this class. If you're not comfortable writing papers, you can get help with that. So don't feel like you don't have help available to you. There's also a writing lab on campus that you can go to get help. There is a STEM lab on campus if you need help with math. We also have tutoring available on campus at the library if you'd rather kind of do the face-to-face one-on-one kind of thing. You'll just have to check with the library on that as far as their availability with COVID and everything like that. But I do believe the tutoring center is open, but they might be a little bit more restricted than they used to be. But you do have tutoring available to you online as well. So I do want you to be aware of that you have that here in campus that you can access very easily. And then I'm trying to make sure there's not anything else that I need to go over. One thing you'll notice on any of these assignments, you'll know they're assignments because you'll see a due date underneath them. So you'll know for sure that these are assignments that you have to do. On your student view, this is generally on Canvas, this is where your calendar is going to be. So anytime there's a due date that I set, once that week opens up, you're going to start seeing a listing on your student view that's going to show all of the assignments and their due dates. And that's going to be helpful to keep you on track with things that are due, because you can just see that it'll be highlighted in blue on your view. In fact, let's go to the student view so you can actually see what your view is going to look like. So this is basically what Canvas is going to look like for you. This is your side of it. So see now how you can't see all of those other things that we had. These are the only tabs that you can see. right now, when I'm doing this lecture video, none of this is open to you all because it's not going to unlock until tomorrow on Monday. But basically, it's the same exact folder that you saw in my view, but this is coming from yours. And here's your calendar right here. So this is what I was talking about. So anytime I set a due date and it's an assignment that you have not completed yet, you're actually going to see all of this in the calendar, and it's going to show you the due date. And these are all on your to-do list for your calendar, all the things that would be due for that week. So that way you can kind of keep track easily. And as you complete the assignments, they should basically fall off of here. If they don't and you have completed it, you should be able to X out of them. So that way you know you've already completed them and you can keep track of what you've already done. So that's kind of your calendar view there. That's just something I like to point out so people are aware that they have these little things that kind of pop up to try to help you, keep track of your assignments. And it can be in any of your Canvas classes. If your professor puts a due date on an assignment, you would find any of that there. So I think that is about it for this class. Just remember your inbox over here for your Rater email. If you ever need to email me or any of your other professors, you're able to access your Rater email from there. And other than that, I think that covers everything. So I'm sorry that this is a long lecture video. Please trust me that all the ones in the other weekly folders in general, they usually will not be more than 15 minutes to 20 minutes long, depending on what the assignments are that I have to discuss, how much detail I have to go into. But I try to keep the weekly lecture videos pretty short. But since this is the intro one, I wanted to basically kind of make sure everybody knew where to find everything, what was going to be in the week 1 folder, and things like that. So if you have any questions during week 1, feel free to email me. My email is up here in the first announcement that you all saw, and you will also find my email in the syllabus. And also, please, as you're going through the syllabus, take note of the important dates, because with an 8-week class, a lot of the dates come up very quickly as far as dropping classes, things like that. So there is a section with important dates, and I do go into detail in the syllabus where it breaks down all of the weeks and what assignments we'll be completing during that time. So, all right, other than that, it was nice to meet you all, even though I'm not meeting you face to face, and I will be hearing from you soon. And check back in next week in week 2 on the following Monday when that opens up, and you'll see a new lecture folder, a new lecture video with more assignments and readings to do there. So, all right. See you all next week for week 2.